Herzlich willkommen beim Gotta Go Heal Podcast. Ich bin Hannah und das ist dein Safe Space für echte Heilung und Transformation. Hier sind wir endlich real. Lass uns gemeinsam wachsen, neue Wege gehen und die beste Version von uns selbst werden. Bereit für den nächsten Schritt? Let's go heal. Hello guys and welcome back to the Gotta Go Heal podcast and welcome back dear Klaudia. I'm so happy to have you back and welcome you in my humble room.
Thank you. I'm so excited for today's episode actually.
Yeah.
It's so funny how we ended up here. We were just talking about this yesterday because the plan was totally different.
Yeah.
We meant to record a different video, a different topic, a different podcast. But we ended up just discussing a situation that happened to me a few days ago.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we have so many episodes coming. Like we have a whole bunch of like 5 to 10 at least.
Yeah. that we want to share.
Yeah.
Our reflections on and experiences and insights.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to get into today's topic. Actually, like you said, we wanted to talk about like feminine and masculine energy, but maybe this topic has to wait because we need to start again with the basics a bit. Today it's going to be about like the misconceptions about spirituality and also the difference between esotericism and spirituality, and like how people sometimes judge or like what they think of like healers when they hear the word, or like they use the word witch, which is like we're gonna talk about how you feel about the words and like the boxes you sometimes get put into, or like people like healers, spiritual workers, light workers, whatever you want to call them, get put into these boxes. And it's just an exciting topic, and I'm very excited to get into it. Okay.
I feel like today's episode is going to be for those who are more sensitive, who are healers, who maybe experience this world from a different perspective, or those who wanted to embark on this journey and become psychics, people that work with astrology, numerology, etc. Because there are so many misconceptions around this area of life or this realm. I have a feeling that this will also be directed towards people that are into spirituality, but maybe they still feel a little bit unsure whether it is safe or not.
Safe to express themselves.
Yeah, and safe to experience that. Because obviously we hear so many reviews and comments and opinions about spiritual world. And I'm not saying that it's all like pretty, beautiful, and all of the people are supportive and they can take you on a really massive adventure toward like inwards. There are people that can guide you in the wrong direction, if that makes sense. Yeah. But here, like, I would love to share my experiences today.
Please, we want to hear it. Like, I feel like it's such that's why we wanted to do this first, because I feel like it's such an important
topic.
It's an important topic, for people to know. And exactly.
I think we should like obviously start from here, because let's say that there are more spiritual people nowadays and you can encounter them pretty much everywhere. And sometimes you just don't know how to even talk to them. Imagine meeting a psychic medium somewhere, I don't know, at the party or some sort of gathering, and then what do you tell them? Like how you should react. As we were talking about yesterday, it's the same with like millionaires, billionaires. Let's say that you meet a billionaire at the party, and then how you should interact with this kind of person. It's pretty much the same, because these are unique people. And same with psychic mediums, energy healers, like real energy healers. You don't meet them easily. And when you meet them, like what you should say, what you should not say.
What you should not say.
Exactly, like a red flag.
Red. We were talking about like red and green flags, because there's actually this situation we're going to probably like a real life example we're going to talk about. And maybe you want to like tell us what happened, or how it was this guy you met at a cafe, but let's
So we are in Bali right now.
Yes. For everyone like who doesn't know, like if you watch the video on YouTube, you see like the room, we're in a different spot.
We are.
Yeah, but
we're not wearing winter clothes anymore.
Exactly. Like the last episode, it's like like in a sweater and stuff. But we're in Canggu, so we met in Ubud, and this was actually like the example we're giving was actually in Ubud.
Yes, we're in Bali.
Yes.
We have these beautiful energy around us supporting our episode today.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. So let's start from my story, the experience that I encountered a few days ago. So I was sitting at the cafe and I was just chilling and having my lunch. And there was this guy that just approached me and sat down next to me, and we just started talking. Like, he just started talking to me. And then he shared his life experiences with me, and that he's a digital creator. He records movies and videos and for social media as well. And he works with many spiritual people and Kundalini facilitators and so on. And then I'm not usually a person who opens up so quickly who I am and what I do. And please, usually people that are real psychics or real spiritual healers, they don't open up so quickly and easily. You just have to take it slow. And that's what I did. I didn't say anything. We resonated. He was doing pretty much what I do, but I didn't say anything. And then he asked me what do I do? And because I felt safe enough, because he's already dealing with spiritual world, to just say that I am an energy healer. And I also channel messages, psychic medium. And then the first comment that I received was, so do you speak with ghosts? And I was like, you know what, this is you get this ick, immediately. You feel almost attacked in a sense, because you're in a cafe around other people. And I don't necessarily want to talk about ghosts when I am around other people, right? And this is a very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
So he just asked me if I speak to ghosts. Then the second comment that I heard, I was so why do I even share all of that if you can already pick it up?
Yeah.
And then I said, it doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
And he replied, or probably I have to pay you, right? To find out more about myself. And you just get that feeling it's done. This is a red flag. The door is already closed.
You're closing.
It's not even about exploring the relationship with another person, be it romantically or in a friendship way. It's more about the human to human interaction. And as we were talking about yesterday, same with billionaires. If you meet a billionaire and then the first thing that you ask them, can you please get me a coffee? You just they will probably feel a bit so what's going on? Do you want, I don't know, my money, or what is happening? And the same is with psychic mediums. If I receive the first message is so what do you feel about me? And this is
what can you tell me about me?
Yes, what can you tell me about me? I think, and I've encountered this situation a few times, when someone meets me for the first time, and the first question that I hear is, can you feel something about me? Or can you see something around me? I pull away so quickly, because I don't even know how to explain that, but I feel interrogated. I feel they just want something.
They want to use you.
Yeah. It feels, even though I know this is not their intention, and probably they are just very interested into getting to know more about themselves. But it's just not right to ask this kind of question when you meet the person. Maybe because it has wrong connotations. And I feel they don't want to get to know me. They just want to get to know maybe themselves. Or maybe they want proof or something. It just doesn't feel right.
To me, it sounds like you said, it's probably not in a bad way. They're just really curious, but it's they want to use you. It's oh, now I have the opportunity to talk to someone who can tell me something about me. And then it's well, first of all, it's a gift, but second of all, it's also your job. You said with millionaires, it's also not you're going to go there and oh yeah, I know you have a lot of money. Now you can pay my lunch, right? Because it's not much for you. It's what is $20 for you if you have billions?
Exactly.
So I get that you feel used, and then you how do you react? And do you close up, or do you answer the question?
Immediately. It's my energy that shuts down, and I just feel I create this wall that later is very hard to
let
destroy.
down again.
Exactly, because it just gives me this sensation that someone wants to enter my energy field because I can feel it. Like they want to know. So their energy very pretty much opens up and it's coming towards me. And my energy is like already ready to pick up the information, but I don't want to do it. It's not that I'm walking around like a detector and reading people's energy and telling them like what is going on around them, because for me it is also very, very draining. And sometimes I have my own life. Okay? Psychic mediums, they have their own life.
That's actually probably like a good topic for like, because I was also, when I was meeting you, I was wondering like, is it like, do you sense stuff? Like, can you turn it off and can you turn it on? Like, how does this work? Maybe for people to like understand this whole thing. Like, is it something you can turn off, turn on, or how does it work?
It takes a lot of awareness, self-awareness. So when I was younger, I sensed everything, and it was very overwhelming, especially for the body, because you don't understand. Just imagine you are in the room with 5 people and you feel everything what they are feeling, and everyone has different lives, everyone goes through their own struggles, and I can feel the past, the future, the present moment, and every area of their life, like the love life, the relationship with the career or hobbies, everything, and you just feel it as your own. So let's say that somebody has a bad day because they argued with their boyfriend. I feel it like it's my own. I feel anger, sadness. Maybe I just feel very stressed out of nowhere, and it's not mine. So when I was younger, I couldn't distinguish whether it was mine or not mine. So it was very overwhelming for me. And it took me a lot of self-work in order to firstly self-regulate and understand what is going on inside of me. And then now when I'm using this gift very consciously, I can turn it on and turn it off when I want to. I often pick up energies anyway. It's just that sometimes I don't necessarily go into that. I'm just like receiving the information. It's like a message. You just receive a message from a friend. You see it, but then you don't react because you don't want to react, let's say. I do the same. Like I receive a message, I receive an information, and the question is, do I want to mention that? Do I want to say that? Or I don't want to say that? And very often I don't say anything. And this message just passes by. Or I say that in a normal conversation, but I don't say, oh, I'm picking up that this is happening and you should do this, and that. I just like sometimes mention like, so how is your, I don't know, boyfriend? Like, how is everything going? Maybe you should look after yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. And I noticed, I remember I noticed that, I think it was the first meeting.
Yeah.
I think you were like mentioning a few things and I was like, interesting. Like afterwards, I was like, maybe she did. Maybe something came up. Like maybe you sensed something. That's why you asked.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people are intuitive. Like everybody's intuitive, and people do this like anyway. Like, oh, I feel like maybe you should like rest a little bit more. Like people pick up on energy. I mean, you're on the next level, but it's you then put it into like the conversation. Seemingly
it flows. It just you cannot really notice it. And sometimes I tell my friends like watch out, because when I say something, it's usually there is something deeper to that. But I can go to a dentist and I just close my eyes, because that's usually what I do when I'm at the dentist, and I can sense, I don't know, the dentist grandma around him. And it's funny because they are like showing me some stuff, and or sometimes they just want to tell them that they are very present. So before I go, like I leave the dentist place, sometimes I just mention like have a beautiful day, or like enjoy your time with family. And in this way I just pass on the message from the grandma, and for them it's like sometimes it's out of nowhere, like why did she say that, but they feel like it's nice, it's kind, but they also sense the energy of the loved one that showed up. So it works in different ways. I remember once I went to get my nails done, and the lady that I was interacting with, the stylist, she had a very bad day. I could sense it from the beginning. And I just tried to be very nice and very kind, because what you give, you receive. So I was trying to ask her like, so how is it going? I knew she was Ukrainian, so I just asked her a few questions. So are you going to see your family for Christmas? And then she was just very distant in the beginning. I felt that she was going through a lot emotionally. And then I started like I kept talking to her, but in a very nice way. And I said, well, you have a very nice bracelet. I really like it. Do you like silver? Because it really looks good on you. And then at some point, after an hour of me trying to interact, it's not that I was like talking all the time, but I was trying to be nice. She just stops. She looks at me. She grabs my hand, and she's like, you know what? Somebody stole my phone, my new iPhone yesterday. And my brother and my dad, they went on a war, and they are at the front line, and everything is just too much for me.
Oh my gosh.
And then she just asked me, like, what do I do? Like that, I just say those things. And I said that, I just work with energy. I just said that. I'm very spiritual. And she was like, oh, that's why. I knew from the beginning that you are different. And this really made her day. Like, she gave me the best hand massage I've ever had. Honestly. And it was so nice. So I knew, because I'm bringing light into other people's lives. So I do it in different ways. But when you encounter me and the first thing that I hear from you is like, so what do you pick up from me? I feel that you want to take something from me, because in this moment, my energy feels like it needs to open up for me to start to channel for you. I had a situation that I just entered a place, and somebody was introducing me to another person, and that person knew that I am a psychic medium. And the first question that they said, they didn't even say hi. This person just said, so what are you picking up from me? Do you sense something from me? Or they say, what aura do I have? And I'm like, excuse me, what's your name?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like it's a bit rude,
It's
but
not polite.
Yeah. But
it's not polite.
I mean, I get it, like people, because it's unusual to meet someone like you.
Yes.
So I get it in some sense, but it's still like, that's probably like what the episode is for. To just raise the awareness about it, that it has an effect on you. And you told me yesterday that sometimes you feel like that you are put into a box.
Yes.
And also we were talking about the words like witches and stuff, like, because a witch by its original definition is probably like neutral. Like a witch is a witch because there are different energies we were talking about. Like a witch, you have an angelic energy, but they're like darker energies, which is nothing good or bad. But at least where I'm from, or like also like the Western culture probably, is like witches is like this dark energy and something like hidden, something behind closed doors, and it's like mystical and scary. And I want to talk about like the misconceptions people have about spiritual work, like what you do. And like, I feel like people just hear the words like medium, psychic, it almost like sounds already like psychic. Oh my gosh. And it's like you're in your room and you're like this old lady with like, with this thing on top.
Cards in the bowl.
Yeah. And it's like, ooh, what is she gonna, and it's something's bad is gonna happen. And I don't know, whatever, paranormal activity.
Yes.
Also, I feel like with horror stories. So what do you feel like are the most like, or like the biggest misconceptions people have about you as like an energy healer, like however you call yourself, and then like the difference between esotericism and spirituality as it is?
Yeah, I think it works both ways. So I know that some people, when they think about psychic mediums or energy healers, they can think of witches, witchcraft, working with dark entities, with ghosts, demons, etc. And that sometimes they place a picture on you that you are like that. And it also works the other way around. Sometimes we get, I don't want to say offended, because it's not enough. I don't take it personally. If somebody asks me, am I a witch? Because that guy at the cafe, okay, that was another big red flag for any sort of conversation. He just asked me, because I said like, I'm a psychic medium. And he said, oh, so you like a witch?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not a witchy energy. And I feel that it's because of the history, because witches were burned and witches had to hide and do the woo things in the forest, somewhere where it was dark, it was hidden, it was not noticeable, because people were not open. It was too dangerous, or it was too mystical. They couldn't make sense of it. So they treated it as a danger. Same with religion. It treats it like a danger, something that's very dangerous, and you cannot really even think about it because you will be possessed or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just so heavy and so dark. And the truth is that spirituality started going through this transformation, and I'm so thankful for that, because it had to go through that transformation. Esotericism is, I would say, an older version of spirituality that couldn't be fully expressed and exposed, that couldn't be tapped into because it was unavailable or it was perceived as dangerous because people didn't have enough information about it. And yes, maybe sometimes they didn't use it for the highest good of all.
So it got misused.
It's exactly. But spirituality is this modern version of esotericism. I would say it's just a journey inwards, connecting to your inner light, connecting to God that is within you, connecting to source. And spirituality is perceived as something that is connected to personal development. And it can be woo-woo. It can be.
Of course it can be woo.
It can be.
Like we Palo Santo'd like before recording this episode. I mean, this is not woo-woo, but for some people it is already woo-woo. Two girls sitting there like with lighting like a piece of wood.
I just, I love situations when my clients come to me and they just say, because they started the spiritual adventure, or they're tapping into their spiritual side, and they come to me and they say, I've started using Palo Santo around the house, and my husband and my child, they are looking at me like I'm crazy, but they know that I'm feeling calmer after this. They are allowing me. Sometimes they laugh at me, but I don't care.
So it's so funny how there are like different levels to spirituality.
Definitely. And sometimes, yes, spirituality has different sides, like pretty much everything. You can have like love. Let's say love life. Love life can be extremely healthy, extremely fulfilling. It can bring a lot of happiness and joy into your life, but it can also be extremely toxic, right? The other side of love is extremely toxic, painful, full of trauma and pain. It's the same with spirituality. It really depends how you use it. It's like a knife. You can use it to...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to say, I have an analogy with a knife, because I don't know if you wanted to say that, but I was like, you can use a knife to like cut a piece of cake.
Yes.
And
feed people.
Or you can use the knife and like literally murder someone.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's the same.
It's the same. So I think it's all about consciousness, how you're using spirituality, what's the reason for using spirituality, and whether you're working with the source, the lights, and with the energy of love, or you are unconsciously tapping into dark entities and the darker side of the spiritual world, because there is a darker side of the spiritual world. And I don't know if you want to talk about this in this episode or the next one, but there is definitely a world that I would say every psychic medium has to experience it.
Okay.
Because we have to experience the darkness in order to experience the light. And it's like pretty much, it really resonates with the whole concept of life.
Yeah.
We have to experience darkness in order to experience light. Because if we don't understand darkness, we will never understand light.
Yeah, and also appreciate it maybe in some sense.
Like if you never went through a hard breakup, you will never understand what real love is. Pure, healthy, real love. So that's the same with spirituality.
I even Googled yesterday esotericism, and actually like the origin of the word is pretty much going within, like something from within. But somehow in our like society, I feel like it is still very much, it's misused, or like it's used for the darker side, or not even, I wouldn't even say like the dark side, like the dangerous side, more of this prejudiced side, this let's put it in a box side, let's like, oh, you're going to the lady, you're going to the witch who, she's going to tell you something about your future, it's like making fun of spirituality. That's why I feel like this connotation to the word like esotericism. And spirituality is more like this
breeze of fresh air, right?
Exactly.
It feels more free, more open. Like you can express yourself.
And it's more. It's the sense of it's there for everyone. esotericism feels like it's only for a specific group or like for older ladies or whatever. I feel like I only have this image in mind, like this.
I don't think so.
This older witch, like an older lady with all these, with this jewelry hanging around and loose crystals everywhere, and know, because we've been shown this in the movies, in horror movies, religion, like everywhere, and like we even like learned about it that witches were being burned, and spirituality has this more. Thank God, now it is more. Yeah, it's in everybody. It's like you said, connected to personal development. And because so many people are talking about it in a normal way, like on social media, people like us, like having like podcasts about it. If you Google like spirituality and whatever, like if you believe in God, energy source, whatever you want to call it, there's like so much information out there. And from like society in past generations, there was not this availability to have access to this information, and so it makes sense.
Like, it makes so much sense, and I do understand. That's why I never judge people when they say, "Okay, so is it like a witchy thing, or what is it?" Because people don't understand that. They saw like. Even let's consider a word psychic medium. First of all, psychic. So somebody that sees, people think that that's somebody who sees the future. That's not true.
And also maybe something about like, I think about a psychic institution, like that's what I think of, like psychic. It means like, like the eyes turning.
Yeah. So no, like psychic is just a person who uses their senses, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, in order to channel spiritual messages. And yes, sometimes they relate to your future, sometimes they relate to your past, sometimes they relate to here and now, what's happening here and now. So that's what psychics do. They are not necessarily those ladies that are predicting the future and telling you, oh, you will meet that person in 5 years from now, and this and this and that. And I'm like, okay,
that's where people can be careful.
Yeah, because to be honest, like if you go to a person like a psychic and she just tells you everything about your future, that's not a real psychic. Yeah. Because what I'm being shown very often in my messages and my visions is that, you can have planned something that is planned for you, but if you don't deal with here and now, what's happening here and now, you will never reach that point. Because very often, in order to get to that point, you have to quantum leap. But to quantum leap, you have to go through transformation, right? So I would say that's why I call myself an energy healer, even though I am a psychic medium, because I help people go through that transformation that is needed in order to get to that point where I don't know, their manifestations are happening. And the other word is medium. Medium is a channel, is someone who works like a vessel between the heavenly realm and the earthly realm. And people think that medium is like this lady that enters a haunted house and speaks to ghosts, very often performs exorcism and talks to demons. And yes, this person medium can work like this. But it's again, how do we use that gift? And there are mediums that work specifically with ghosts and with demons and darker entities and haunted houses. But I am a medium. Of course, like I can work with that, but that's not why I came here on earth. Yeah. And I came here on earth to channel information from the heavenly realm. Yeah. So very often I speak to your ancestors. I speak to your angels, to your spirit guides, to whoever wants to show up, who's from heaven and wants to share information with you. Sometimes they just want to share love. Sometimes they want to share compassion or whatever it is. When I say that, or sometimes people just enter my energy field, so they just sit next to me. And that energy that is like traveling through me, is passing through me, it's coming from, like, let's say those heavenly realms, from their loved ones into their soul, and they are being nurtured by this energy. So I'm like a vessel. That's what medium is. Medium is a vessel.
Yeah. And in German, it's like the word Kanal, because I got into spirituality more from the English language. So it was interesting for me to be like, okay, I know all these terms like spirit guides, angels, it felt so natural. And then when I wanted to explore it more, and then I was always like Googling, like, how do you say this even in German? That's why, I feel like in English, I don't know, for me, it makes more sense in English. So that's why I just mentioned it, like Kanal and channeling. I don't know, it's like kanalisieren. It's different in English. And for me also, I didn't know what a medium was actually when I got into all of this. I remember I was talking to my mom and she knew, like, I was like, it's called, in German, it's also like a medium.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually didn't know that you would call it. We call like a clairvoyant woman, like Hellsehen in German. So that's what I like connected to, and obviously like the words with witch and stuff.
But that's what I feel. Sometimes even clairvoyance, because I'm from Poland, and we also say that you go to a clairvoyant person.
Exactly.
And but that also has some sort of connotation that is not right. That doesn't feel right to me.
Because you can be clairvoyant, but there are other people, like other spiritual healers.
Yeah, I just feel like people think that witches and clairvoyant people see the future. That's why they are very often scared, because they are scared to see their future. Because what if it's not right? What if, I don't know, I will get divorced, or I will lose everything that I have? And that's what they will tell me. No, please. If you go to a genuine spiritual medium or psychic medium, this person is here to soothe you.
Yeah.
You will feel that from the very first encounter and from the beginning, that you feel like home. You feel yourself. You feel more in tune with what's right, what feels right. And even if they say something that is painful, it just feels right.
Yeah.
We will never
say... it comes
say...
from the heart.
From the heart. And please, we will never tell you anything that's dark, that's here to scare you, because fear is low vibrational.
Yeah.
We work with energies of love and kindness and forgiveness.
So high.
That's exactly very high. So you will always feel empowered after leaving the place. Always. So, yes, and as I said, we can see the future. But we are not here to tell you and scare you everything. I often tell people, like, don't get attached to the future, please.
Yeah.
Stay in the present
That's an
moment.
important point.
Exactly. If I see a potential, because that's what I came here to do. I came here to help people discover their potential. And if I see that somebody has so much potential around, I don't know, maybe creating a fashion brand, and I just feel it so well, I'm going to tell them, like, have you ever considered creating a fashion brand? And they tell me, oh, no, but when I was younger, I really liked dressing up and being like a model and feeling like this princess. And then I tell them, maybe you should do something about it. So it's, again, I'm just seamlessly. I'm trying to give them information, and what they do about it, it's up to them. Because I see the potential. There is a lifetime, the lifeline or lifetime, where I see that this is going to work, and this is for them. This is written in their soul plan. But if they sit in this present moment and they're still afraid to be seen, they still feel like they are not enough, it's not going to happen. So I can tell them, you're going to be a millionaire in 2 years because you're going to open a fashion brand, and then they will leave my place and they will be like so hyped and, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire, crazy. And they just sit and they do nothing about it. Nothing changes. That's why I prefer to tell them, like, sneak give them a hint of the information. That's maybe, like, I feel that. And so let's focus now on healing the trauma of being seen. So, because I know that if they heal this, they will embark on the journey towards that vision that I saw earlier on.
And what I feel like is very important to mention is, like, we do have free will. Of course, there's energy. You see something, it's a possibility. There's so many possibilities, but you still have a free will. If I come to you and you tell me, oh, I see you opening up a fashion brand, and I'm like, oh yeah, nice. But then, like you said, I'm going to sit around, or I don't even, like, let's say I don't believe you, or like, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Like, there's not God, like, pulling me and creating, like, sitting on my laptop. It's your choice. So that's exactly what I feel like is so important. Like, when people are afraid to go to a healer, because
what they will tell us,
and that's actually like the most like the biggest conception, or like what people ask me is like, oh, I don't want to see. Also, like maybe with you, I have some very like curious people who are like, oh, but they're like curious, but they feel it, that there's like a nudge inside them, that they're like, I don't know, maybe what if she's gonna tell me I need to do this? It's like, she's not gonna tell you, first of all, nothing that scares you, nothing that's like not within you, probably also nothing. I mean, sometimes you hear something that you don't know about yourself, because sometimes I say she's not gonna tell you anything you're not knowing about you already. But sometimes you can see something, but it's in your potential. Yeah. And it's nothing scary, because like you told me yesterday, you can only see what's revealed.
Yes.
There's nothing, it's nothing there like, oh, you're gonna die in, I don't know, in 2,
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work
I just want people to know, like, it doesn't work like that, and just take the fear out of them, and just like, look, it's like, I don't know, people always, if you walk past them on the streets, like, you're a normal human being. Yes. It's nothing,
No, if you meet me for the first time, you will not know that I'm psychic mutant, unless you look into my eyes, because I have very bright eyes, and sometimes they change color. So people are like, wow, your eyes are so magnetic, so different. So sometimes they just unconsciously feel that I'm maybe doing something different, but I'm just a normal human being. I do the same things that other human beings do. I go through similar situations.
Yeah, normal life.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm here to soothe you. I'm here to help you find answers. And I'm here to guide you through that journey, through the personal transformation. Obviously, if you are scared to come, ask yourself, are you scared to find out more about yourself?
Exactly. That's the real question.
Yeah, because maybe it's not about me. Maybe I'm just a mirror to you and to something that is hidden and you're trying to protect so much. Mm-hmm. Because yes, when you come and I feel that this is the biggest issue that's blocking your life, I'm going to tell this to you. And sometimes it may be uncomfortable, but it's not to give you this information and leave you with that. Yeah. I'm here to help you with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you are open to experience yourself, that's everything you need.
And it's the most beautiful thing. Yeah. Because you're just a helper. Yeah. Like you're like, I'm gonna give you my hand and I'm gonna show you the possibilities. It's like, I don't know, like going through in Narnia, like going through the closet, and it's like, oh, there's a whole new world. Yes. It actually is a whole new world. But yeah, and it's like, it's the most beautiful thing if you're ready for it. I mean, people, maybe they have like the curiosity, they're curious, they feel the nudge, but it's maybe not the right time, maybe in a month, maybe next year,
And that's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah, it's like, how willing are you to look also sometimes at your like shadows and like go within and reflect, because after seeing like you or like other healers like us, we went to the same healer I went to last year, and I was like, last year I had like these notes, like completely all these things I was like, he was telling me, but I knew about myself, and I was just like reflecting, and you have to be open for it. But if you do, it's like the most beautiful thing, because you get to know yourself better. There's nothing more beautiful to get I mean, that's what I think. I think it's nothing more beautiful. And like you said, you're a mirror, and it's just like, are you willing to look into it?
Yeah. And also I feel like sometimes, because now when you were talking about this, I was like feeling that very much in myself. So when I meet a person, because maybe somebody wants to know that, what happens if you meet a person who's very judgmental about what you do or questions? I always thank people when they question me, because they should question. Yeah. What I say, it's not white or black. It's not the only truth. If you don't question it, you cannot really connect with it. So I appreciate when people question me sometimes, or question the whole world, because that's what happened to Jesus as well. Yeah. And God. God gave us free will. So he wants us to question, because only through questioning we can we can understand what's the real truth. Otherwise, we will not. We will just blindly believe other people what they tell us.
And that's so important.
When people start to question, or you just get the sense that they don't believe that. They don't believe that maybe spiritual world or like psychic mediums, like, what are they like? This is not possible to speak to ghosts, like, or the other world. Like, it's not possible. And people ask me, like, what do you tell them? Like, how do you react? And I just tell them, you know what, that's okay. Like, this is what you believe in, and that's totally fine. But if you find yourself in a situation where nobody can help you, I'm here.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that I can do for you, I'm here.
You're waiting. Yeah.
And I'm just like, because sometimes they are fighting with their own demons, their own shadows and demons. I don't want to say that in the wrong way. They are fighting with their shadows, and maybe this is a person that self-sabotages themselves and often questions too much. Something is like written in stars. It's like very, very much to the point. Like, this is what it is. But they are like questioning, but what if, but what, why, but then. And maybe they are questioning spirituality as well. But in spirituality, maybe they'll find fulfillment.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I can do is I can say, this is okay.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, I'm here. Because usually these people come back the quickest. Because something happens in their life that somebody cannot like help them with. And that's when they start seeking answers, and they will go for anything. And it very often happens with physical health. So everything is pretty much fine, but then they get the diagnosis, or they cannot have children. And the world is like screaming at them. They go to all of the doctors, and they come out of the doctor's office full of fear and doubt and resentment, and just feeling like it's not gonna happen. Like, they just tell me like I will not have children. And there is this side of them, like the spiritual soul, I would say, spirit, that awakens in that moment and tells them, embark on a the inner journey, embark on the journey that is within.
Yeah.
Go seek the truth, go seek the answers. And that's what Jesus did. Because he was asked to seek answers, seek the truth. God asked him to seek truth, and he started to seek truth. That's why he became the person that he became. I don't know how we ended up speaking about Jesus, but
it's interesting. Maybe someone needed to hear it. Yeah, but it's such a beautiful like ending, because the truth is always, like within. Yeah, maybe there's someone out there who needed to hear like exactly this.
And I would love to talk about Jesus, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe in one of the next episodes, because
there's a problem.
People think,
I was skeptical, like
because people think that religion, maybe that's something nice to add to this episode as well. People think that religion and spirituality are totally different
fields.
Yeah. That's not true.
Yeah.
They are very interconnected. It's just that religion was created by a human.
Yeah.
Spirituality is something that already exists within us. That's why I often speak about Jesus. I believe in Jesus, and he was such a great teacher in this world. He gave an amazing example of what it is to be a human, and also go through life, through struggles, pains, but also those good memories, those good moments, what it felt like to heal people, to help people, like everything that we can encounter in life is already written in his life story. That's why we read Bible. These two areas, that the spirituality and religion, they are very much interlinked, but they need to be filtered. Like, religion needs to be filtered in order to discover the truth.
Yeah.
And Jesus, sometimes he even comes through during channeling sessions, and he supports people. Sometimes people think that, okay, so now I'm not really into religion, because they feel like the religion is not going in the right direction. But how should I consider myself? Spiritual? I don't know. So what, should I quit religion and then fully embrace the spirituality? They feel confused. And I tell these people, you don't have to choose. It's just who you are. You can take what you feel like taking from religion, if that feels supportive. But you can also be in the spirituality and take what feels right to you. There are souls that worked with Jesus, and I worked with a few clients that had past life they were very close to Jesus, and I know what it feels like to needing his energy. So when there's just so much bad information traveling, coming to them about religion and Jesus and everything, they just sometimes feel so bad, because deep inside they want to be close. They want to go to church. They want to be close to Jesus. They want to be close to the church and that society. But there is something that just doesn't feel right, and they feel lost and confused. So I often tell them, stay close to Jesus, be next to him, learn from him, read the Bible, but have the spiritual filter. And if something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't come from the place of love, that means it was made by a human being. And that's what seeking truth is.
It is.
And you don't have to choose esotericism, spirituality, religion. You don't have to define that. And please, this is something that I would like to share, maybe as the last sentence that I would like to share with people. You don't have to choose, and you don't have to define who you are and what you believe in. If that feels right to you, if that is connected with the energy of love, that's all it matters.
Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the perfect last sentence. I hope that, I know this episode is going to resonate with a lot of souls out there, because at this point, I know my community pretty well. And thank you again for coming on. And you're coming on a lot in the future.
Yeah, I'll come back.
She's coming back, guys. She's coming back. Guys, I hope you liked the episode. If you do, please send it to... I would love this episode to be in the DMs, in the chats of skeptical people, to everyone you feel drawn to send it to.
Or someone who is maybe afraid of spirituality.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe if you have someone, a friend, who has gifts, but doesn't know about them a lot, or is afraid to explore them. This is also the episode for them.
That's true, yeah. Just send it around, spread the message. And I would love for you to also comment on the episode and let us know your feedback. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Yes.
And I'll definitely speak to you again.
Yeah. And guys, we'll hear and see each other, maybe on YouTube if you're watching, next week. Bye.
Bye.